Okay. As the name of this heading or the head of income suggests, profits and gains of business and profession. So the first question which comes up is, what do I mean by business or profession? So it is important to understand what do you mean by one, business, and two, profession. So what do you mean by business, profession? And accordingly, there is also a concept of vocation, which we will cover as a part of this slide. Let's first see about business. Now, the definition of business is given in section 2, subsection 13. And what it says is business includes. You must have understood this term includes in your earlier classes. Earlier classes, when I mean income tax classes or the law classes, which you would have taken as a part of mercantile law or in your graduation. Whenever any definition says includes, it means there is a larger bucket. Let's say this bucket refers to the definition of business, and amongst this bucket there is a smaller bucket which is described here. So business has a wider meaning. Within that wider meaning, there is a smaller meaning which is specifically given in the Income Tax Act. So business includes, and this shaded portion basically refers to this definition. What does it include? It includes any trade. We all know what trading is. Trade basically would mean buying and selling. Commerce. Commerce is definitely a larger version, bigger than the trade, because commerce as an activity would involve a lot of activities in terms of, purchase, sales, services, etc. Or manufacture. Again, manufacture is something which is deeply understood. There are many industries in India which manufacture several things. Now, if you look at all these three things, trade normally would mean that you are engaged in trading on a regular basis. You keep on buying and selling things. Commerce also refers to some kind of a systematic activity. Manufacture. When you get into manufacturing, you do it on a regular basis. So all these three basically kind of refer to a systematic activity. Right? It refers to a systematic activity which is undertaken over a long period of time. Long period activity. But the fourth point which is referred here, the one which is adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacturer. Now, this trade, commerce, or manufacturer is the first three part. But it says adventure or concern. Now, what happens is that normally, whenever we have any business activity, any trade, any commerce, any manufacturer, that is something which is assumed to be an activity over a long period of time. However, if there is an isolated activity, a one-time activity, suppose, you are into manufacturing of, let's say, bulbs. But once and for all, you sell some scrap, which is generated when you manufacture bulb. So if you sell this scrap, even though it might be on a rare basis, on an occasional basis, if it is a part and parcel or in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture, then it is also treated as business. The reason why the definition of business is important is that to tax an income under the head profits and gains of business and profession, it is important that whatever activity which one person is doing, that should fall within the definition of business that we have just discussed. Okay, So now moving on to the second definition, which is profession. Now, we all say that, let's say a company like Reliance is into business of this, business of that. But being a part of this profession, chartered accountancy, do we say that chartered accountancy is a business? Is CA a business? No, we say CA is not a business, CA is a profession. So, what do you mean by a profession? Profession refers to any occupation. Occupation is something which you do yourself, it's not something like a service, which requires special intellectual or manual skill. So, as a chartered accountant, or maybe as a company secretary, being a company secretary or a chartered accountant requires certain special intellectual or manual skill. In these two cases, it requires intellectual skills, right? Acquired on the basis of special learning. So these skills, to be a company secretary, to be a chartered accountant, are acquired on the basis of certain special learnings. And what are these learnings? These learnings are the CA course, the CS course, the one which you are going through right now. So profession refers to any occupation which requires special intellectual or manual skills acquired on the basis of special learning. To do a business, you may not require special skills. Of course, if you do an MBA, you get to go learn as to how you should be managing a business. But those skills are not necessary to do a business. Whereas to do a work which a chartered accountant has to do, you have to have special intellectual skills which you have to acquire on the basis of your special learning, which is the CA or the CS course. And the third one is vocation. Now, what do you mean by vocation? Vocation refers to an activity on which a person spends major part of his time to earn his livelihood. So vocation refers to something which any person would do, in which he'll spend a major part of his time to earn his livelihood, so that he can earn money and live and meet his expenses. Just to summarize, business includes, it's not a complete definition, it includes any trade, any commerce or manufacture, or even a one-time activity, adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce or manufacture. Profession, any occupation which you do which requires special skills which are acquired on the basis of special learning. And vocation, any activity in which a person spends a major part of his time to earn his livelihood.